Hey, what is up everyone? It's David here. There are so many things up on both YouTube and investing in the year 2020, and I'm hoping to use this video to summarize a lot of the learnings in 2020, and at the same time, I would love to get some feedback from you in terms of how I could be a better content creator in 2021. Now, let me get the boring stuff out of the way. No, I'm not a professional, and this video is not financial advice or recommendation for you to do anything. The only thing I am remotely qualified to do is to recommend you to gently smack that like button. So, without further ado, let's go! I separated my learnings into investing specific ones as well as YouTube specific ones. So I left timestamps in the description box below. Feel free to jump to a section, whichever that interests you the most. Let's start with investing specific ones. The first thing I think I really messed up in is having too many positions. A few people actually brought this up in my previous videos, and over time, I actually realized that I cannot keep up with that many positions. And when I can't keep up with the positions I have, what ends up happening is that I have a lot of different positions, but I don't have high conviction in any of them. So then it became my mission to trim down on the amount of positions that I do have into companies I would love to pass on to my kids. And my portfolio went from close to 30 positions to less than 20. The point is, I'd rather own a few companies I love than a few that I kinda like. Another thing I learned is that as much as I love reading investing books, at some point, I actually found that reading and learning more about how great companies are built and how great CEOs allocate capital, that helps me level up my investing skills. My favorite non-investing book is The Innovation Stack by Jim McKeevely, who co-founded Square, and Competing Against Luck by Clayton Christensen. The Innovation Stack is all about how Jim and Jack Dorsey view and solve customers' problems very differently. And once you have an accumulation of new solutions for existing problems, it creates what Jim calls the innovation stack. And you can view that as a moat. It's an incredible read to prepare for next year. So I've left the link in the description box below for anyone interested. Don't get me wrong, investing books are great places to start to build your foundation. But once you have that down packed, I prefer to read far and wide to get a better understanding of our world and the technologies that power our world. The third thing I've learned about investing, which really applies to anything in life, is to spend majority of your time in a room where you are likely to be the dumbest person. I found that the more I challenge myself to have technical conversations with researchers, fund managers, or product managers, I'm forcing my brain to not take any intellectual shortcuts and to learn about a topic more deeply to both earn my right to be in that room and not seem like a complete waste of time to the person I am speaking with, which will probably earn me another opportunity to speak to that person. This is obviously not easy at all, and it's not meant to be. But in order to have things others can never dream of, you have to be willing to do things others will never attempt. That means spending time studying, reading through long reports, and speaking to people who are much more knowledgeable in a particular area than you are. What I'm trying to get to is that if I'm scared to speak to someone or to do something, then it probably means that I am right where I am meant to be. Those are the three things I found to be super helpful in leveling up my investing skills. And next year, I'm hoping to add a little bit more software engineering skills to my toolkit. So what about you? Can you share with me one thing you've learned about investing this year? Okay, next, let's talk about my YouTube learnings. What I realized in my first year of creating YouTube videos is that it's not as easy as it seems. The quality of the video, the research, what you say and how you say it is all pre-prepared. Like Usain Bolt said,
"Listen, the work is behind the scene. Competition is the easy part. Behind the scenes is where the work is done. And everything is done to get to that one race that you need to run."
Similar for YouTube videos, it's all the things behind the scenes that make a video great. And although I am still a massive work in progress, I'm hoping my preparation speaks for itself in my videos. And every time you watch my videos or choose to spend time with me, you would have learned something new. And to build on that point, I found that there is a direct correlation between quality of the video that you put out and the people that you attract. I am super fortunate that you guys watching are incredibly cerebral, and a lot of people in my Discord server are 100% willing to call my BS, which all the more challenge me to become a better content creator. So in 2021, there are a couple of things I want to try to push myself, and I'll talk more about that in the new year. The third thing, which I think is another key to my success on YouTube, is focus. What I found is that when I try to do too many things at once, I don't end up doing any of it well. So doubling down on YouTube is possibly one of the best things I could ever do this year. But the question is, why did I choose YouTube to be my main platform? Now, I think of different digital channels into two tiers. Tier 1 channels tend to have a great organic distribution, which means that it can reach people organically really well. And the content on that platform have a long shelf life. Not to mention, they reward their content creators really well. So good examples of Tier 1 channels are Medium, Google SEO, YouTube, and even Facebook. Now, Facebook's reward system is new, so I'll talk more about that in my upcoming side hustle video in the new year. Tier 2 channels may have a really good ability to reach people organically, but the content may not have a long shelf life, or they may not reward their content creators really well. So good examples of that will be Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest. Since my intention in the beginning is to build a side hustle, I narrowed down my choices into Tier 1 channels. Starting a blog and driving traffic using Google SEO is really competitive in the finance niche. I promised myself to come back to this in the future. Facebook videos are between 2 to 3 minutes long, and Medium tends to be a great place for marketing, self-help, and engineering type content. So both channels doesn't really fit with what I want to create when it comes to finance and investing type content. So naturally, YouTube was the best choice out of the Tier 1 channels. Don't worry, like I said, I will be making a more detailed side hustle video for 2021. But if you want to see that earlier rather than later, make sure you gently smack that like button right there. And if this video gets 500 likes, I'll make sure I'll push this video as early in the year as possible. And the last thing I had to learn the hard way on YouTube is learning how to switch off. I'm still actively working on this one, but I find it incredibly difficult to switch off when I am creating content constantly on YouTube. I'm either reading or consuming content to prepare for my next video, and because of the whole work from home thing, I felt like I never really switched off. And in November, that was a month that I burnt out. I felt incredibly uninspired. And the thing about a creative pursuit like YouTube is that you can't really force your way out. The more I try to force my way out, the more it seems like I'm not getting anywhere. And that was when I realized that rest and learning how to switch off completely is something that I need to actively work on if I want to create great content for you guys. I don't have a good solution to this just yet, but if you guys have any great suggestions, let me know in the comment section below and I would love to try them out. So thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. And by the time you're watching this, it should be very close to New Year's. So Merry belated Christmas and also Happy New Year. The one thing I can continuously promise you is that moving forward, I will always try to become a better content creator, and the time you choose to spend with me should always be fruitful. Now, as usual, if you want to be part of my fortnightly Q&A and continue supporting me creating great content for you, consider supporting this channel via Patreon. Until next time, my name is David. Otto will always do the honors and see you very soon.